What's up, Whisper Nation? You know what happens when we have a mock-a-thon and it's over? We just jump right back into more mocks. I think we might have a problem. But on this one, we're doing a half-point PPR league, 12-team. Let's get it right here on the Fantasy Whisperers.
Yes, we're back again.
Hey, let's pump up the volume.
Right here.
What's up, Whisper Nation? Cyr here, along with Johnny Game Time Hicks and Big Travy. We're doing another mock draft following our mock draft marathon. Travis.
Yeah.
You're going to be picking around 7.
Okay.
Johnny,
Pick
3
7,
for
huh?
you.
3 for me.
So we're doing the mock draft
Wow.
here. Even though we couldn't get our fill in 24 straight hours, we're going to do it again. And we're doing a 12-team half-point PPR. But listen, guys, if you want to follow the show, go ahead and head on over to the fantasywhispers.com. We're all across all platforms there, and you can get our 2019 draft kit for only $10. What a steal of a deal. As usual, we're back, and we took a little bit of a layoff, obviously the marathon. Austin's going to run us through this mock draft, pick our brain on some of these picks, because God knows, after 24 hours, we may not be making the best ones. But we're going to do our best and try and get you guys prepped. I'm ready. Johnny, you ready?
I am so ready. All right, let's get into this.
And Johnny, you're picking from the 3rd spot. I'm picking from the 7th.
Yep.
Are we ready to start this thing?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm
All
ready.
right.
Let's go. All right.
Firing off, we saw Christian McCaffrey, very popular first overall pick. A little bit of a shocker here with DeAndre Hopkins, too, but that is the undisputed wide receiver one at this stage. While Game Time is thinking about his 3rd pick, what are your thoughts of taking that early, Travie?
Half-point PPR, so it doesn't give you the premium I'd like to see for you to take a wide receiver that high, but with Kiki Cutie's injury, I think you could make a little bit of a case for it. They also did bring in Duke Johnson, so I'm not too thrilled about that pick there.
Saquon Barkley was taken there by Game Time. No problem there at the 3rd spot. Alvin followed by David Johnson, Elliott. Setting you up now in the 7th round. Where's your head at? What are you?
This is that spot in the draft where I am comfortable taking a wide receiver. So I went ahead and took Devonta Adams here. Listen, in half-point PPR, I think that's just enough. The touchdown upside is unreal with Devonta, going for 4 straight with 10-plus touchdowns.
Nick Chubb off the board, followed by Julio Jones, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, the Schuster to close out the pick. 2nd round, Odell Beckham Jr., followed by Michael Thomas, Todd Gurley, Tyreek Hill, Dalvin Cook, setting up Big Travy's 2nd round pick. Who are you pairing along with Devonta Adams, Big Travy?
I'm going to continue my playmaker upside down strategy here. I'm going Travis Kelce, just a dominant force, upwards of 24% market share of that potent Kansas City Chiefs offense. I think he's one of the only of the top 3 that you can almost bank on being an elite tight end. And so that I want that advantage at the position. I
like all that logic there. We saw Damian Williams follow up, Kerryon Johnson, and Patrick is gone now. Johnny, who in the 2nd round are you thinking Saquon? Still got some of these running backs, high value there, but you're also still looking at some line elite wide receivers.
Yeah, so normally I'm gonna switch it up in this draft. So I'm gonna take a running back here, and Joe Mixon is still here in a half-point PPR. That offense is still a little bit questionable, but they certainly should run the ball more. Joe Mixon is looking like he's going to be kind of like the lone bell cow there, and so pairing him with Saquon as my RB2. And then I'm going to wrap around here, and I could take a little bit of a gamble here, and I'm actually going to take Melvin Gordon in the 3rd. I've got Joe Mixon and Saquon, and so therefore I feel like I can take that gamble.
Well, Big Travis here is thinking about his 3rd round pick. I wanted to ask you, Johnny, if you're taking Melvin Gordon, are you committing to picking up Jackson or Eckler, or are you just hoping and finger crossing that Gordon turns to that bell cow status for the Chargers?
It depends. We'll see where he ends up going in this draft. Certainly, it's not a bad idea, but if I grab another running back, which isn't out of the question, I've kind of want to show Whisper Nation what it'd be like to, stack a bunch of these solid running backs if they fall to me, and then grab these wide receivers later. We'll see what I need.
After Gordon was gone, David Montgomery taken, followed by T.Y. Hilton, Aaron Jones, Travie, you took Devonta Freeman there with your 3rd round pick. You happy with that one?
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about the running back situation that was there. It was Fournette or Freeman in my mind there. I get this is what happens when you go a little bit of upside down. So I went with pure upside on this pick. I said, who's going to have the better half-point PPR year if everything went the way it was supposed to go? And that, for me, is Freeman based on his propensity to catch the football.
Personally, I love Freeman. He's bell cow backs. He is number 1 overall on a very proficient offense with really no competition behind him. Devonta Freeman is a sneaker, as I like to see him this one.
Yeah, and he's still not getting talked about a lot. He's played in the preseason a little bit, hasn't done much, but the reviews coming out of camp are that he's really healthy. He's going to be good. We just hope that body keeps up because God knows this is the most volume he's projected to ever have, given that Tevin Coleman's not there anymore.
A little undersized, but Marlon Mack was taken after that, followed by Fournette, Josh Jacobs, Zach Ertz, George Kittle to close out the 3rd round. Amari Cooper, the first off the board, followed by Stephon Diggs, Chris Carson, Brandon Cooks, Mark Ingram, and we saw Derrick Henry taken by Big Travy here. Finally, you're always hitting on my boy Derrick Henry.
Well, the price was too right here. I do believe that he is the last one of a group of running backs that you can kind of sit and put your hat on to get volume at least. I talked about this with Johnny and with you before that I'm concerned about the Titans as a whole. As an offense, as a team, as a defense. I think all those things play into why he fell so far, but I'll take him here in the 4th. He shed the walking boot, and he should be at 200, 250-plus carries.
Chris Godwin taken after that. Julian Edelman, Robert Woods. Setting up Johnny's pick with Sony Michel in the 4th. I love Sony Michel there in the 4th. Obviously, you do. Take me through the process.
Well, I just wanted to. I'm stacking all these running backs here, and it kind of worked out. There's some guys I really like here, so I'm gonna start grabbing some some wide receivers. I'll take Calvin Ridley before my time runs up. But with Melvin Gordon out, I wanted to get a very solid option there for me if he does hold out half that season. And so this doesn't necessarily mean that I have to get a guy like Jackson or Justin, excuse me.
You're excused.
Maybe.
Maybe, right? Maybe call it.
Sorry. It requires me not to be, so it makes it so I don't have to reveal my cards. I cannot speak right now. I'm sorry. I'm really distracted by my dogs.
With Sony Michel off the board, Kenny Galladay and Philip Lindsay for Tevin Coleman, AJ Green, and Calvin Ridley now off the board. I'm diagnosed with that. Can't speak since Johnny's speaking.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley there. Off the board, then just moving this one along because the draft is moving quick. We saw OJ Howard go, Evan Ingram, Tyler Lockett. Now Cooper Kupp setting up your 5th round pick there, Travie.
Yeah, look, I'm a big believer in Kupp. He's got a relationship with Jared Goff. We've seen him when he's on the field lead that team in red zone targets. The touchdown upside is there. Obviously, he's coming back from an ACL injury, but it didn't take him very long to come back, and he avoided the PUP list, so it looks like he's all in good hands here, kind of like Allstate, and he's just ready to rock and roll. So I'll take Cooper Kupp, I think, in half-point PPR. He might continue to be the safety net for Jared Goff with touchdown upside.
Let me ask you this really quickly. Of all of the receivers over in Los Angeles for the Rams, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, and Robert Woods, if you could take one of the 3, value aside, which one?
Probably talent only. I'd take probably Woods. But
it's a tough call between them.
Yeah.
I like grabbing the last one there, as you did. Aaron Rodgers was taken after Kupp, followed by James White, Deshaun Watson, Tyler Boyd, Baker Mayfield to close out the 5th. Lamar Miller, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, and Miles Sanders to set up your 6th round pick. Tell us who you went and why.
I was hoping that DJ Moore fell to me here in the 6th. That would have been such great value for a guy that could be the number 1 for Carolina that I love. His metrics are great. Ended up going with Jarvis Landry. Look, Antonio Callaway's had an injury. They traded away Duke Johnson, or not an injury, but a suspension. They traded away Duke Johnson. Jarvis Landry sets up to be pretty nice as a second fiddle to OBJ in this offense run by Todd Monken. I guess we all can
something
speak.
In the air.
And so I think they're going to push the ball downfield. I think Landry, I've been watching these practice videos. He looks great. I'm all about it.
I think people have slept on Landry for a long time, considering he played for the god-awful Browns his entire career. This dude is a talent.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the Dolphins. Yeah.
And the Dolphins.
Yeah, so much better.
Right? Yeah. So you have the situation where you just kind of forget about these guys, but dude is a talent.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good
100%.
play. Darius guy's taken, followed by Alshon Jeffrey, Robbie Anderson, and setting up Game Time's pick, hometown favorite there, Christian Kirk. What you like about him?
Well, he's going to be in this air raid offense. They are going to run the ball a lot. I know a lot of people are worried about, this Arizona offense with what we've seen during preseason, but you guys, they've done this down quite a bit. So I believe in what the coaching staff and what the beat writers are saying, that this offense is looking really good in practice. But at the same time, that Arizona defense is god-awful, so maybe they just look good against their defense. Who knows? But, no, I mean, Christian Kirk, he was, starting to pop off, starting to break out last season before his injury, and that was with the, terrible Josh Rosen. Well, that's a discussion for another time, but Christian Kirk, really like his upside. I think he's going to see 100-plus targets this year, and so I want a piece of that Arizona offense. And Christian Kirk already knows this offense, and he's already played with Kyler Murray, so I like his upside.
Right on. Hunter Henry and Kenyon Drake to follow. Tariq Cohen and Latavius Murray were the first two off the board in the 7th round to set up Johnny's Dante Pettis pick, 3rd pick in the 7th round.
Yeah, Pettis is my boy. He... little whispers for secret. He could be one of my bromances. But, a lot of people are starting to shy away because of the reports that came out about Dante Pettis a week ago. They were saying, I'm not sure. The coaching staff was saying, I'm not sure who the number one wide receiver is here. And so people who were starting to get really hot on Dante Pettis, fell off because the bandwagon jumpers tend to do that quickly.
Yeah.
But I know what I've seen, and this guy was a top 10 wide receiver at the end of last year. Not a lot of people were paying attention to him because he played for the 49ers, and they were on their backup quarterback. But Dante Pettis is a rising star, so love that combination of those wide receivers.
Sammy Watkins taken, Matt Ryan, Jared Cook. Travis, you went with Rashad Penny.
Yeah, the upside here, I knew I wasn't going to get him if I waited, and I felt like I could wait and get Royce Freeman because he's just been disrespected in drafts. I was able to do it. So I got Penny because I think his upside's higher than Royce Freeman if something were to happen to Carson, and the fact that Pete Carroll has always wanted to use a satellite back, a receiving back, and they drafted Penny in the 1st round. They are going to have to use him at some point.
You're saying the Seahawks embrace that Kamara Ingram comparison.
And they run it more than anybody in the league, or second most. So that's a team you want to get behind, because I think Freeman, yes, he's got a path to upside. He was my 2nd pick here, or my 8th pick here. And so he has the upside, but he would have to win the job outright and just live off volume alone, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I faded him instead of Penny, but I ended up getting Freeman as well.
So we're going to jump right there from that Royce Freeman pick. Move there. We saw Drew Brees taken, D. Westbrook, Kareem Hunt, which set up Johnny's pick in the 8th round. You went with Duke Johnson, new product in Houston. I know you're a big fan of Duke Johnson. Care to tell us why?
So Duke Johnson goes to an offense where they are going to use him and utilize him, one, because Kiki Cutie is so in and out of the lineup, and number two, Duke Johnson is an elite pass catcher. And yes, I said elite pass catcher because the metrics that this guy has when he is on the field and coming out of the backfield or lining up in the slot is, renowned for a running back. So, a team doesn't trade a 3rd round pick by the head coach, what he was on the phone when he made this trade. So I think that there's going to be a lot of passing volume for Duke Johnson. It's a half-point PPR league. Stack that running back depth. It was, that was just like, I like him over Kalen Ballage. I still don't believe that hype. Jalen Samuels is just, a hope of
which I'm sure has nothing to do with Kenyon Drake being in your dynasty. Nothing.
No, it has nothing to do with Kenyon.
I know.
I legitimately have you
Shots
watched
fired,
tape?
dude.
Hold on, but have you watched tape on Kalen Ballage?
It doesn't matter.
Here's why I say it would take you about 5 seconds, and you would realize exactly who he is and what he does, and it's just run into guys and fall over. So you can tell me he's looking like a monster, he's looking like a beast, but much like the Arizona Cardinals defense, that stuff sucks, and the stuff you're going against is trash. So he's gonna look like him. I would hope he looks like a monster. because I could get out there and run behind that line and do exactly what Kalen Ballage is doing right now.
You would think that one of these two had Kalen Ballage or Kenyon Drake on their team with as much airtime as you guys are getting. They are not. It's just a highly point of contention here in the Whisper Nation studios. So then we're moving ahead here because the draft is going quick. We saw in your 8th round pick, we saw Royce Freeman. We saw Duke Johnson go curving around into the 9th. Johnny's boy Josh Gordon taken off the board. We all know the upside in that pick. Let's see if he can keep it together with Gronk off the field. Could be a feaster. We're going to see that ADP continue to rise as well as people get more accustomed to seeing him active. Moving forward there, then Jalen Samuels off the board with Marvin Jones, Ronald Jones, and then Big Travy taking Johnny's boy Kyler Murray.
Yeah, look, I'm so stoked that he had a bad preseason game because the ADP kind of was affected. And two things: fantasy football, I was stoked. Real football, I was stoked. You need to have adversity. You need to see a defense basically punk you if you're going to be great in this league, and he needed that, and I think it's great. I think it'll benefit him in a big way. I have not gotten Kyler Murray in the 9th since way early in the offseason.
Since Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly. So I was stoked on that.
Right on. After there, Russell Wilson gone, followed by Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Larry Fitzgerald, Sterling Shepard, and Sutton out the 9th round. DK Metcalf, Mr. Knee-Scope himself, off the board with David Njoku, Jameis Winston, LaShawn McCoy, and the Rams defense gone. Deshaun Jackson, I know you're a big fan of Deshaun now. He's now on your fantasy team.
Yeah. Look, Corey Davis and Emmanuel Sanders was there, but I was just thinking pure upside. Who's got the better ceiling? For me, it's Deshaun Jackson. It's not close with that stacked offense that they have over there in Philly.
Sure, we all know what. Corey Davis, we still don't know yet exactly what he game goes after Deshaun, Carlos Hyde, Emmanuel Sanders. Johnny, you grabbed Lamar Jackson. If you couldn't grab Kyler Murray, it would be Lamar.
Yeah, I love Lamar Jackson. I'll be going for him in almost all my leagues because the upside is there. I mean, you watch the preseason, and he does look like he's improving that arm, and so that's what we were all looking for. This guy's quick. He's a bigger guy, so if you miss out and you're excited or tantalized by the Kyler Murray upside, I think that Lamar Jackson is a much cheaper option for you, and I love grabbing him. Look, 10th round, I'll grab him.
And I don't know how much better his arm is. Decision making, looking
right,
making
and
choice,
the thing
more comfortable passes.
Right, and the thing too is you can generally get Lamar Jackson a little bit further down, but Sleeper causes every team to draft 2 quarterbacks, so I knew I wouldn't get him.
And that hype is rising too. Then, all right, moving around, Adrian Peterson gone with the Rivers to 10th, 11th round, Peyton Barber, Matt Breida, Mark Andrews, your boy.
Mark Andrews, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Show.
We're going to move along from there with the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Dante Moncrief, Devin Singletary, over to you. Big Travy, Damien Harris was your 11th round pick. Rookie running back drafted by the New England Patriots.
Yeah, look, he's insurance for a guy with a degenerative knee. So we get what's going on here. And he showed out good. Showed good hands in the preseason. Showed good running skill. He's going to be a goal line guy probably. Not the goal line guy, but capable of it. So if anything's to happen, the upside is just tremendous for Damien Harris, in my opinion.
And then in the 12th there, jumping to the next, another guy in a similar bucket, Darwin Thompson.
Yeah, I was sitting here looking, and maybe this will, behoove Johnny, but I was sitting here looking at Justin Jackson, who I knew Johnny was going to have to take eventually, and I didn't end up taking him because here's the deal. Darwin Thompson's upside is bigger than Justin Jackson's, only because I think Melvin Gordon eventually gets a deal, and so Justin Jackson will eventually be relegated to the bench. Could Damien Harris just outright lose the starting job since he's never had more than 50 carries in a season? Yes, he could lose the job. And so Darwin Thompson, who's done incredible things like leap over humans and tall buildings. No, but just he's just looked good.
And carried a school bus across a bridge.
Yeah, saved a bunch of kittens.
And that Darwin Thompson pickup, as you mentioned, did set up Johnny to take Justin Jackson in the 12th. He said he might do it. Right, it looks like the price is right, Bob.
Yep.
The price is wrong.
TJ Hawkinson taking on 12th, Minnesota Vikings D to close out the 12th. Golden Tate to start the 13th, followed by Dak Prescott. Now setting up Johnny Game Time Hicks is picking the 13th. Who do you want to pair along with Justin Jackson?
So I'm gonna go another running back here, and people are gonna think I'm crazy, but Justice Hill I like grabbing and stashing at the end of drafts because I think he has tremendous upside. He also is a friend of the show, Justice Hill, this guy, listen, he was awesome in college. They're raving about him in training camp, and so you can never have too many running backs. I always say that, even in a PPR league, I like it.
And hey, and Johnny, how many times have the Baltimore Ravens surprised us with who they actually end up giving the majority of the carries to? I think like every year since I played, every year post Ray Rice, it's always like, who's going to get it? I don't know. And the guy who's set to get it in the beginning of the season isn't getting him really at the end.
100%.
I love
kind of seen the Chiefs do the same thing. It's kind of weird because just based on injury, suspension, or whatever.
Only
else.
difference there being the Chiefs usually go with one guy.
Once they do,
right.
Baltimore might keep it.
Correct.
So, Devin Funch is taken after Justice Hill. Trey Burton Cousins setting up Travy's pick of Michael Gallup. I like Michael Gallup. I think he's
starting to really warm on Gallup as the offseason progresses, just because this was a guy that the Cowboys originally drafted to. Oh, come on.
Oh.
No, to replace.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. To replace Des Bryant. I got a glitch in the matrix there. Ended up taking somebody else, but
sure.
So I'm a fan of Gallup, and especially with this plantar fascia situation that's working out with Amari Cooper.
You could have the number one wide receiver potentially. There's a world where that's the case.
Yeah, and for Dak, who can only throw to one guy, that's pretty good.
Tony Pollard afterwards, followed by kicker Justin Tucker, tight end Jordan Reed, Greg Zuerlein, and Cleveland Browns defense to close out the 14th. We're in the 14th round now, where Harrison Butker, kicker for the Chiefs, gone, followed by the Texans defense, Will Lutz, Jimmy Garoppolo, Hardman, Mecole Hardman, Marquise Brown now taking over there. Travis.
Yeah, I really wanted. Does this go this way? Yeah. I really wanted Kenny Stills. So hopefully Johnny doesn't take it right now. But that's the guy I wanted there. But the computer glitched. Marquise Brown is fine, but we just got the update today that Harbaugh says he's a long ways away. So that's a little concerning. This is a guy with Liz Frank injury earlier in the offseason, nursing himself back from that, with a Lamar Jackson who hasn't shown the best chops to get it to wide receivers consistently. So that one's tough. But
upsides there though.
Did want Kenny Stills. That's who. So I'm going to go ahead and take him here.
While he's doing that, Gostkowski's off the board, followed by Fairbairn, Tavecchio, Paris Campbell, who Johnny grabbed there. Paris Campbell. We know that he had a great camp. Healthy, could grab that third role over there in Indianapolis.
I love Paris Campbell.
I think Paris Campbell has some upside to be like the number 2 option.
Yeah.
And immediately he's one of my favorite rookie wide receivers. You took my second favorite there, Johnny, with JJ Arcega-Whiteside, I should say. Yeah. But Paris Campbell, I think, is going to be great, especially half point PPR.
Yeah.
I really like
Bills defense, Elliott to close out the 14th round, final round here. Jamison Crowder, Robbie Gould, and there we go, the aforementioned JJ
Arcega. It's like Ibiza. Yeah, I was doing it all offseason, and then Arcega. Yeah, we watched the preseason game, and the announcer was just like, JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Oh, here we go.
So great.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It'll be like the Kamara conundrum. Kamara.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? It's not even like, that's not even how he pronounces it. It's not either.
Yeah. And the quarterback, who's your boy? Took it the 5th round. Was it Tyrod?
Oh, Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Tyrod.
That was like the big news last year.
That was Hard Knocks. Yeah.
It's just like me, like Austin or Austin. My whole life.
Yeah, you can't really do Johnny.
No.
Joni.
Joe Honey.
All right, so Whiteside, Deion Lewis, McKinnon, Broncos defense. Your final pick. There you go, your boy. Kenny Stills, don't play Jay-Z himself. You like that one? Could be the guy in Miami.
Yeah, here's the thing. His prototype fits well what Fitzpatrick likes to do. And that's go deep. And so he will probably be a guy that he looks to quite a bit. Albert Wilson's there. We've talked about it before. That could be a situation. But look, I'll probably end up dropping both him and Marquise Brown, picking up a kicker defense. But we're drafting so early. Once again, Whisper Nation will tell you, when you draft this early, when you still have a week or so left before the regular season starts, take some of these training camp battles. See what's happening. See how it shakes out. Punt, kicker, defense. You can always pick those up right before week 1.
We have completed another mock draft. Let's go ahead and do a quick rundown of Johnny. Would you care to take the lead as you drafted first?
Yeah.
Tell us about your team and what you think.
So, first round, Saquon fell to me in a half-point PPR. I love that. Joe Mixon in the second. So I decided that I was just going to try to stack as many solid running backs as I could and worry about wide receivers later because there are a lot that I like that are in the mid rounds. And so I grabbed Joe Mixon in the second, which allowed me to grab Melvin Gordon in the third. And, he could be on suspension, but having Saquon and Joe there, that should cover me. And then Austin questioned whether I'm worried about, Justin Jackson coming in later or not. So I grabbed Sony Michel. I think I still have him as my fourth tier running back. So I took him, and then I started going a couple wide receivers here. So Calvin Ridley, high upside guy who's number 2 in an offense, but they throw a lot. Had 10 touchdowns last year. That will regress a little bit, but I still like him as a wide receiver. Christian Kirk, again, a guy who started to break out last season, so I like his upside as well. Dante Pettis, my guy. Dante Pettis, enough said. I don't need to keep gushing about him because then it'll get a little weird.
But he will.
Duke Johnson, I took another running back because he's depth. He's a guy who I like in PPR quite a bit. And you can never have too many running backs. Josh Gordon, just to add on to my wide receivers, I think I have a very solid core of wide receivers. No wide receiver ones, but with the running backs that I have, and then the running back at the quarterback position in Lamar Jackson, who I took in the 10th round. I have a very, very high floor as far as my team scoring goes. And then, Mark Andrews, get that double dip the chip. Mark Andrews is one of my favorite tight ends in the draft. Justin Jackson, was able to get him, for the Melvin Gordon insurance there. Justice Hill, like his upside. Paris Campbell and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Both of those guys, I really like the offenses that they're going into, and I could see them at least Paris Campbell, I could see him having a good season. JJ could be, towards the second half of the season kind of guy.
Right on. Thanks for the breakdown.
Yeah.
How about you, Travis?
All right. So what I've found a lot in these, middle rounds, actually anywhere past the 6th spot, you're kind of more at liberty to go upside down, right? You get a little bit of that middle area where you can kind of see how the runs go, and you're really not sold on any of these guys. I mean, Nick Chubb we love, James Conner has upside, but you're not sold on any of these guys to really be what the top tier are, right? Just because of some of the circumstances. So I went upside down, theoretically, in the first 2 rounds. I went Devontae Adams with my first pick, and then Travis Kelce. Really just love Travis Kelce in the middle of the 2nd round. When you think he could be statistically more consistent and better than Gronk at some points in Gronk's career. So if that's the case, we were taking Gronk in the middle to late of the 1st round, and I think that Kelce's getting slept on as a potential 1st round, early 2nd round guy for teams based on the positional advantage you get. And I said it at the top of the show, I think of the 3, Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, and George Kittle, Kelce is the only one I feel good about locking in as staying elite at the tight end position this year. Devonta Freeman was my next pick, and Derrick Henry. A couple of safe-ish running backs just based on pure volume. They're not safe based on system, Henry's not safe on system. Freeman's not so safe with injury history, but I still like the upside that's there with both of them. And I felt good about what I could do in the late rounds to make up for their, downside, so to speak. When impaired, Cooper Kupp and then Jarvis Landry with Devontae Adams. We talked about Landry getting slept on a little bit. I think Cooper Kupp also maybe getting slept on because of the injury when people aren't actually maybe reading that he's progressed really nicely for them. So, I mean, this is a guy last year that was on pace to be the wide receiver 2 in PPR and standard scoring. So I really like Cooper Kupp. Rashad Penny, Royce Freeman wanted one or the other of these guys, ended up getting both, and I love that. Freeman continues to get slept on as a guy that should be the starter and the touchdown guy for the Broncos, and they're going to have a good defense. Believe it or not, they are going to have a good defense. Bradley Chubb is borderline elite, and then, of course, Von Miller, and so I think that means they give the ball back to the offense quite a bit, and so Royce Freeman has some real upside that people are just, for some reason, not seeing in Royce Freeman. Kyler Murray, look, I said at the top, I haven't gotten Kyler Murray in the 9th round since Christmas. So happy birthday to me. I got Kyler Murray here. Deshaun Jackson, I love the upside. Look, we've seen
just
Deshaun.
Said, I haven't gotten Kyler Murray since Christmas, and then you said happy birthday to me.
That's right. I'm
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow, dude, unreal.
Anyways, Deshaun, after the sacrilege,
Drinking too much of this. You've had too much eggnog, I think.
Jesus was born in the spring.
dude, people sleep on eggnog too. Just like people are sleeping on Jarvis Landry, they're sleeping on eggnog when they throw up and just pass out in it. No, sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, Deshaun Jackson. Look, Deshaun Jackson could be one of the best deep ball threats we've ever seen. Period. And what he does for offenses is huge, and so I really like a piece of that. That's a guy that could plug into your flex and win you any week.
Could be Travis, my guy. Who knows?
My bromance. Who knows? We could be looking at that.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, that episode's coming out soon, so be on the lookout. Damien Harris, Darwin Thompson, 2 huge upside running backs, part of elite offenses. You've got to be taking these lottery tickets in the 10th round and on because these guys could win you your league. Mark it here. Heard it here, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Michael Gallup, look, we talked about him. X-receiver. Could be the X-receiver in this offense. And we know that the $40 million throw for Dak Prescott is to the X-receiver.
I don't think you could just say it like that. You got to be like, X-receiver.
X. I can't even.
Like
Can't
you can't do it like X-receiver. That sounds bland. But like you put some umph in it. Like use your chest. What does Austin say all the time? Say it with your chest. X-receiver.
That's an original. I like to say it. I like when I like to Spanish piece.
Oh.
Receiver.
Oh.
Not dos. Uno.
Oh.
All right. Anyways, Michael Gallup, then Marquise Brown. I didn't really mean to pick him, so I'll drop him anyways. And then Kenny Stills to round it out.
All right. Well, as it is my role and what keep me around for here is to grade their drafts and give you a winner based on how I'm. So let's take a look at these ones here. You know, I like the strategy behind. If I'm drafting my actual, I like what Johnny does. What I usually do in fantasy drafts, stack these running backs in the beginning and then grab yourself receivers with upside. So I like the philosophy behind that. I just don't like a lot of the players.
Wow, unreal.
Specifically,
Someone clearly hasn't read the draft kit.
Speaking of which, I don't even like draft kits, and this draft kit
Here we
is really
go.
good. It's really good. I
love it.
I
love it.
I've never been a draft kit kind of person. FantasyPros.com.
We've converted him.
Or your preferred fantasy football site, and I just crunch the numbers and I look at it myself there. This thing is an experience. You go through the Fantasy Whisperers draft kit from start to finish, and it's fun. It's not fun just acquiring the knowledge, getting smarter, and becoming better than people you're around, but it's actually just fun to go through. It's like when you went to school and it was a good day of school. It's like that's what this is. It's like, wow, school kicked ass.
Yeah, we're going to take you to school with that thing, and for the price of only like $10. So you got to get over there and get it. That's the fantasywhispers.com.
It's like a comic book, dude. That's what's so cool about it. It's like a comic book.
Actually,
Yeah, it does have that feel. We spent a lot of time and hard work on that thing, so it's nice to hear the Whisper Nation love it. Obviously, Austin loves it as well.
All right, Austin, tell Whisper Nation what they already know, that you love my team.
I do like your philosophy, and I've given you a lot of nods on this one. Breaking that one down. Looking at Travis's, though, Devontae Adams, elite. Kelsey, elite. The running backs he grabbed in the 3 and the 4, potential RB1s, in my opinion. Devonta Freeman and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, we know the can of Whoop. He can take down any week. We saw them to close out. Devonta Freeman is a former number 1 overall back. Going to be, as Travis said, getting more volume than he's probably gotten maybe ever. He's healthy thus far. That's the only thing you're holding against him. And working our way down then, Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry, high floor guy, and also pretty high ceilings as far as I'm concerned. Rashad Penny, Royce Freeman, if he gets one of those guys to do anything, also with the New England pickup there in Damien Harris or Darwin Thompson, if he gets one of those other running along with Derrick Henry and Devonta Freeman, he's going to have a real juggernaut of a running back situation over there. He just really needs one to break, and he's got a decent chance at all of those. The final receivers with Travis' team, Michael Gallup, Marquise Brown, we know is dropping. Kenny Stills like him. I think you got a good shot of one of those working out too. I like the philosophy that Johnny brought forward over Travis's in this one. But if I'm picking a winner on this one, I feel like I haven't said this in a while. We're going with Big Travy as
Woo!
here.
That's right, son.
Dude.
That's right. Hey, look, this is what you do, Whisper Nation. You play to your crowd here. I knew he hated that I hated Derrick Henry, and I sacrificed my pride. I put it on the line. I picked Derrick Henry.
So
Woo!
you just gave wrong information.
Ric Flair. Woo!
You just gave wrong information.
No, bro.
That's unreal.
It's just like picking your, if you're in your league, know your league.
no.
Know your judge.
Hey. Like Johnny, if I knew, or for instance, hey, that's actually a good point. I don't think you can take it away from Travy. And I'm going to go back to the Fantasy Whispers Dynasty draft that we just committed here. Travis was picking right after me in the 5th round. I was looking to grab Aaron Rodgers at that point. I knew he'd be grabbing him there. So what did I do? I grabbed Aaron Rodgers there in the 5th because I knew he wouldn't make it back around the other side. You know who you're playing with. You know these things.
Hey.
The only reason why, Johnny, I love a lot what you did on this one. It's really about that 3 wide receiver crunch there that you had through the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Dante Pettis. Listen, if these guys pop off, am I surprised? No, I'm not. But am I going to bank on these guys of all the ones to take a dice roll on? Christian Kirk, he could really be that number 1 guy, but we've got a ton of receivers over there in a brand new system, brand new quarterback. We don't know. That's my point. We don't know. We don't even really know what Christian Kirk is about. He did last year. Calvin Ridley, while he could usurp Julio Jones eventually, he's not doing it this season. We know he's a solid wide receiver too.
He's just good. He's just you want him on your fantasy team.
That's good too. It's a higher floor, lower upside.
Dude had 10 touchdowns last year.
Bro, Johnny, you've won the last 4, dude. Just let me have my moment, dude.
Whisper Nation,
I like Calvin Ridley, but Dante Pettis, you don't know anything that's going on over there in San Francisco. We know
Jimmy G can't throw the ball.
Yeah, Jimmy Gruesome is looking exactly
Jimmy
that.
Gruesome.
So,
all right.
All right, so we want to know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Whisper Nation, let us know what you think. Who drafted the better team? Was it Big Travy or was it Johnny Game Time Hicks? Do you agree with Austin or do you agree?
I don't like
with
the
me?
way you said my name there.
Yeah.
I don't like the way you said that.
I said it with
was it stupid Big Travy or was it great Johnny Game Time Hicks? You didn't say those things, but I felt that.
Like and subscribe to our show. Hit the bell on YouTube so you get content anytime we release new stuff. As always, check us out on Google Play, iTunes, all those
Spotify, Stitcher,
all of that. Wherever you get your podcasts, go check us out. All right, until next time, I'm just gonna say we got to get that mustache Instagram, but that is Austin
oh my
Cyr
God
with the mustache, Big Travy, and I'm Johnny Game Time Hicks, and we're the Fantasy Whisperers. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
Download the draft kit.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.